The first slot is always the most difficult one. Okay. Last year, on the Scaling Business Summit, I was giving a speech on AI. Who of you have seen that speech? Well, not too bad, maybe 30%. And yeah, that would be good. Thank you, Rosie. And I actually thought that I'm going to give you an update because I made some bold statements. For those of you who have been there, I said things like, we are going to get telepathy and we are going to live 500 years long and a lot of weird shit. And everybody was looking at me like, what is this guy talking about? So let's have a look what was right and what changed. So first, the biggest change is that I was speaking about AGI, and the prediction was more like 2030, 2039 to 2032. But the timeline absolutely accelerated. So pretty much every serious scientist in AI now expect AGI within this presidential term in the US. So this or next year. And that's a massive change, which will have a huge, huge impact for all of our lives. I'm happy to chat over a drink or a coffee and go a little bit deeper, but once AGI is here, the world won't be the same as we know. So the debate if AGI is 2030 or whatever is pretty much closed. We are very sure it's going to happen very, very soon. $100 billion clusters are pretty much standard, and we expect human-level AI pretty much next year. Interesting side facts is that since the invention of GPT-4, inference intelligence token costs is 200 times less already. And we're going to see a further drop, which makes a huge change. Also, as I said, like the clusters are built everywhere, and on the downside, we all implement AI, but only 15% of the companies who implement AI are really using it properly. And I'm going to talk a little bit more later about why. Ray Kurzweil, the guy with the nice suspenders, which I had in my slides last year, is probably the most famous scientist in AI. And he is actually now not one of the persons who is like, it's coming, it's coming. Now everybody else is like, Ray Kurzweil is conservative. So what I said last year, it sped up dramatically. I made a bold claim, and I spoke about Neuralink. And I said telepathy is going to come within till 2040. And I'm not sure who of you know that, but telepathy is not yet there yet, but we had 2025, the first human who is controlling an iPad with their brain. Who of you has seen the videos? A couple of people. And yes, it works. Apple actually developed even a protocol for that. It's called like brain-machine interface. It's because they expect that all Apple products are in short future going to be controlled by the brain. And if you Google in YouTube and watch the video, it works really well. It's not just bullshit. And this is not science fiction. This happened last year. And yes, we are far away from mass producing the technology. And no, we will not all have a chip in our brains this soon, but give it 5 years, maybe 10 years, and we will not have a keyboard anymore. And This is, again, not science fiction. And one interesting learning I made, I should have listened to my own talk and just bought the stocks of the companies which I said which will explode, because Neuralink actually gained massively on the stock market. Unfortunately, I didn't invest. Next time I listen to my own talk and then I'm like, okay, I need to invest there. So that was correct. And a lot faster than expected. The next claim I made is that that language schools are going to be out of business soon. And here now comes something very surprising. It's kind of wrong, not totally wrong. It's because what we see is that Duolingo added 50% of users within the last year. DeepL also did gain massive traction, but language schools are still there. And the reason is because we are human beings. And human beings like to connect and to communicate. So yes, we can have now a smart bud in my ear and it can translate Vietnamese. It works sort of, not perfect, but sort of, and even my phone can translate. But it doesn't give us what we need in our life. So here my prediction was half off. Technically I was right, but I didn't factor in the human factor, because in the end we are human beings. And that's important. That's talking about longevity. Now, I was speaking a lot about senescent cells, about nanochips, and about a lot of things. But interestingly, are you aware that within the last year, there are massive gains in the average longevity of human beings? Anyone has any idea what happened? Come on. No? Okay. I mean, it's pretty much written here. So if you can read. So what happened is the invention of Ozempic, the injection to lose weight. So there is an injection now, which you can take, and you literally will lose weight without massive, like you don't need to hunger, you don't need to go to the gym forever. And because obesity is one of the largest drivers of death and sickness, this statistically had a massive effect on the whole of humanity. There's literally no reason anymore for being overweight as long as you can afford the injection, which is not so cheap, for sure. And by the way, it is a diabetes injection, and it was invented by accident, as many interesting things. They never intended that to be the solution for being overweight. And I know personally a couple of people who use it, and it works quite well. And I was talking about P-Doom. So for those of you who have not listened to me last year, P-Doom is, it started as a fun project, as a joke. You can look it up on Wikipedia. It's the probability by which we are all going to die with the invention of AGI. Because there are a lot of people who say, if the AI is going to be intelligent, it will be a human extinction event. So we are all going to die horrible. Last year, the average of P-Doom was around 5%, which I thought is a lot. I mean, 5%, that's playing Russian roulette with 20 bullets, or 1 bullet and 20. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. And this year, what changed is that P-Doom is pretty much a fact. So all scientists there is a risk. We don't know how high the risk is. The average went up, not down. So I just said AGI is coming within the next 2 years. There is a real risk that this is going to go bad. But don't give up yet. There are some smart people here. Ilya Sutskever, SSI. Who has heard about SSI? Thank you. It's Safe Superintelligence, and it's the effort to create a safe AI. And they started the company last year, and they got $32 billion funding, seed. I've never heard of a company who got 32 billion and there's nothing. And that's really, really crazy. And if you want to look into, if you like to be scared, you can also read about, there's a German scientist called Leopold Aschenbrenner who stated pretty much that if one nation has AGI, let's say the Americans have AGI and China has not, what do you think is going to happen? Will China just stand by and say like, oops, we're late to the show? Probably not. And in the other way around, I'm pretty sure not. So if China has the AGI first in the next 2 years and the US fail, if we are lucky, they will just try to take out the data center. If we are unlucky, we're looking at a global war. So you don't even need, what I want to say is there is a risk in AI that has nothing to do with AI. It's just how we perceive it and what we do with it. So now I killed the mood. Definitely, right? There's nothing better than coming in the morning to a talk and then learning you are all going to die. Well, I have bad news. We are all going to die, but probably not that soon. So I'm pretty optimistic. There are a lot of smart people who try to prevent that. There are a lot of people who work very hard on that this is not happening. And I still have hope for humanity. What changed also is 2023, we all were having chatbots. Hey GPT, how can I do this? Last year, we have seen copilots. This year is the year of agents. So if you're still chatting with your GPT, you're living in the past. And I know most of you do. So get your shit together and learn agentic systems, coding, not only if you're developers, consulting, writing a book, whatever, all this can be done agentic these days. Oops, that was a little bit fast. And the fact that the intelligence cost dropped by 200% has also a massive effect, because what does it mean is we don't need to necessarily employ human beings now. Because if I need something smart, I can just rent it from the AI. It's very easy. However, the title of this talk, I don't know if any one of you saw the subtitles, Machines of Loving Grace. Sounds very poetic. And besides Lars over there, I'm pretty sure you know it, who have heard of the word Machines of Loving Grace? Happy about that, because then you sit here and learn something. Their founder of Anthropic, which is one of the most hottest AI companies on earth, Dario Amodei, he wrote an article in 2025 which was called Machines of Loving Grace. It's worth to read, because what he says is, yes, there is a risk in AI. Yes, maybe we are going to kill ourselves in the race to AGI, but actually there's a huge upside. If we do it right, we are going to fix cancer. We will solve mental illness. We will fix the climate. We will pretty much solve all the challenges properly if we're going to do it right, and there's a really, really good chance, and there are a lot of smart people who want to do that. And this is the counter-argument to the doom people. So it's just technology. It depends what you do with it. Yeah, and that's very important. And if you want to read it, it's worth it. It's quite poetic and very interesting to read. Just roughly nearly a year old, so it might be already a little bit outdated because things move fast. Now, I was talking about low adoption of AI and the friction. The thing is that it turned out that companies who want to implement AI, they see a so-called J-curve, where the productivity drops first. So it's weird because you are like, hey, I have AI, everything is better, but actually it gets worse. And this is where a lot of companies drop out. They're like, AI doesn't work for my company, it's not the right thing, it's not working, so they stop. And this is what we see all around the planet. And what I want to urge you is, if you implement AI, don't get into the valley of despair. It's going to be good. AI works, and it will work. You just need to get it right. 70% of all AI projects fail. Why? Again, because of human beings. Because if I now implement AI in my company, and I have a couple of my employees sitting here in the audience, they will be like, yeah, and what about me? Do I still have a job in the future? So why would they support that? It makes absolutely sense that they're like, no, please, let's keep everything as it was. I don't want it. Yeah. So that's what a lot of companies in their eagerness forget, that we deal with human beings. And human beings have emotion, they have fears, they have families to feed. So people will be like, please, please, just leave it be. I don't want it. So, and that's why we see so many failed projects. And the solution for that is quite simple, that what we do is we need to have our employees, our friends, our humans work with us and appreciate it. So, how do we deal with AI and what it's going to be? So first of all, when I came here 12 years ago, the formula was very clear. I want to have more revenue, I need more people. Period. That is not true in the age of AI anymore. What we need is, you want to have more revenue, you scale your compute, not necessarily the people. So what you're looking as the revenue per employee needs to go up. Then you make something right. So you're not hiring thousands of people, and then you have 1,000 times more revenue, but you can implement AI, you can scale your people with AI, you can scale your processes with AI and earn more without actually scaling your human costs. And as I said, remember, the intelligence cost already dropped a lot, and they will going to drop further. So intelligence is easy to get by. So, I want to give you an actionable to-do. So if you're a founder, if you're a manager, and if you're in a company. So what you need to do is, you actually audit your company and you look where is the biggest pain, and then what you do is you look where can you actually solve the pain. I'm going to have a talk later where I go a little bit more deeper into this whole agentic system with my colleague Jung. But the key here is that in the past, what we did is we made large, complex AI projects, which anyway nobody used. A lot of companies implemented their own LLMs because they said data protection, we can't use GPT, we can't give our data to some Americans, we need to build it ourselves. But the fact is, whatever you implement yourself, it will never be as good as a GPT. And what happened is that the people try it, and they're like, this sucks, I just use my GPT. And they don't care if you have a corporate governance, and they don't care if it's allowed or not allowed, they still use it, and you create a massive shadow IT. And building your own LLM is super expensive, so you easily burn $500,000 or $1 million quickly. Whereas if you implement agentic systems and you, let's say, HR, finances, or whatever, where you have a very clear gain, then this is where you can have a lot of revenue or costs down. I can give you an example. We have currently a client where they want to actually use AI to automate a call center. And that call center is customer support by email. And they just say, we want 80% of all the requests by users should be answered by AI. And the AI only need to realize, okay, this is too difficult, a human being does it, and the 80% is automatically answered. And if they achieve it, they can let go 80% of their call center agents and save a lot of money. So that makes a lot of sense, at least for the company, and not for the call center agents going to be let go. So that is very important. I just said that humans need clear guidance and understand what's going to happen with AI. And what you need to do is, you need in your company implement a no AI soon. So what you tell your people is, we're going to automate this, and we're going to automate this, but this we will never ever automate, because we can't. So what that happens is that the people, your employees, get confidence that they're like, okay, now I understand. This is my value. This is what I can bring to the table. So we will talk again after lunch about agentic. So we implemented our solution in HR, and a lot of the manual tasks HR is doing, we automate. But what we do not take away from our HR talent acquisition people is that they talk to the candidates, that they have a human connection, and they assess them. And the machine will not be able to do that, at least not in the foreseeable future. And that gives them confidence so they can support that processes, because they know we are not like doing something to get rid of them. We make their life easier. So they know AI soon is a very important area, and then you need to provide proper leadership, mentorship. You need to negotiate with your teams what do you need, what's going to happen, and also you look where are the biggest gains to make. Because trust is the new currency we are selling. I just got a call from an AI bot yesterday. It's horrible. You know, I think sales is going to be super difficult in the future, because we all will have AI agents who will block AI agents, and it will be impossible, like what we're doing now. We're calling people and say like, hey, Habibi, you want to buy something? It's not possible anymore. So what it is about in the future is personal networks, trust, and connections. And nobody and no machine can take that away from us. All right. Last but not least, I know that Rosie is already pushing me, that I'm not running out of time. Last but not least, you cannot be a successful founder, you cannot run a successful department if your body is not healthy. Because burnout is the biggest danger for all of us, especially in a time where things change so quickly. This is very easy. I had last year an employee to me say, he's like, Lars, can I ask you something? Can we please not change things for a year? I can't deal with that anymore. And I can feel her. Even it's a little bit much for me, yeah? Because but we can't, because the world changed so quickly around us, dramatically. So what is important is that we actually are healthy. A healthy body, a healthy mind, and then we can deal with the stress. And sorry to say, because I have some friends here in the audience who, let's say they let go their bodies a little bit. I'm not looking at anyone. You can change that very easily now with the pharma method. You just take the injections. You don't even need to go to the gym, and you can be healthy. Or, that's me, I'm following the crazy Brian Johnson, where you optimize your life, sleep, nutrition, whatever it is, to be healthy. But in the end, you can decide whatever it is, just do something and be healthy, because you cannot sustain that. And if I might make one prediction here, we will see over the next couple of years a lot of judgment on people who are not healthy. And if you look already at the rich people, they're all healthy. If you look Jeff Bezos, he looks like an animal. I mean, unbelievable. So this is what we're going to get in the future. And you can be there too. So it's my ask to you, take care of your body. So, what now? The big thing is we are at an absolute dramatic moment in time. I feel blessed that I'm born in this time. Demis Hassabis, he's the founder of DeepMind, the mastermind of Google, said what we are living right now is the Oppenheimer moment. It's the moment like when the nuclear bomb was invented. Some of you might have seen the movie or read the books, and the history was clear. It changed the world from one moment to another. And this is what we have right now with AI. And we have the craziness, the chaos, and we have the loving grace on this side, and it just depends what we are doing with it, how we are using it. And I'm positive. There are really good people, and if you listen to the interviews of most, not all, but most of the influential people in AI are really decent people and try to do things the right way. I'm a big fan of Dario Amodei. I'm a big fan of Demis Hassabis. Not so much a big fan of Sam Altman, if I might say. He's rather on the dark side of the wader. All right, so Saturday, Monday morning, checklist. Look what you can automate with agents. Pick just one, don't do too much. Just think about what can I do, what can I take away, what can I automate in my company. And if you introduce AI, plan for the J-curve, plan for the dip, yes, it's normal, productivity will go down. There will be pushback. And if you get pushback, it has something to do with the fear of the people working for you. Address it, talk to them, and give them safety so that they do not feel like they're going to be replaced. And optimize your body, optimize your brain. Take care of yourself, because only then you're going to be capable to deal with all the challenges which will come to you. We are compressing 100 years into 10 years. These 10 years right now. This is not the future, it's happening right now. And the last 2 years were already crazy. The next 2-3 years are going to be extremely crazy. So get ready for the ride. It's going to be a wild ride, and enjoy it. Because I think it's going to be good. I think what we are going to see is a lot of really good stuff out of that. Thank you.